in Frisco, Texas. There's been hockey going on behind us all evening, so hopefully the buzzers and the clacking of sticks has calmed down. We can get this weigh-in done. Let's introduce, coming to the stage now, Mr. Johnny Ross and Entourage. Johnny Ross is coming. He's bringing folks, Matt and Craig with him. And this evening, our ring girl, Mackenzie. Mackenzie, come on up to the stage. All right, we're going to get this weigh-in going. The first fight is a bantamweight, Devin Britton and Lestat Pleasant. Let's go with Devon Britton. Ladies and gentlemen, Devon Britton weighing in at 134.8. Next up, Lestat Pleasant. Lestat Pleasant weighing in at 135.6. It's our first fight of the evening in the bantamweight division. Devon Britton and Lestat Pleasant. All right, our next fight in the bantamweight division, Zach Horton versus Luis Bustos. First up to the scale or to the stage is Zach Horton. Zach Horton weighing in at 135.5. Next up to the stage, Luis Bustos. In an even 136, Luis Bustos. Ladies and gentlemen, next up in the lightweight division, we have Brian De La Rosa Trinidad versus Hayes Christian Ivy. First up to the stage, Brian De La Rosa Trinidad. Weighing in at a 155.5. Next up to the stage, Hayes Christian Ivy. Weighing in at 154.3. This fight is in the lightweight division. Brian De La Rosa Trinidad versus Hayes Christian Ivy. Next fight up is in the featherweight division, Colton Terpstra versus Carlisle Mott. First up to the stage, Colton Terpstra. Weighing in at an even 146. And next up to the stage, Carlisle Mott. Carlisle also weighing in at a 146. This is Colton Terpstra versus Carlisle Mott in the featherweight division. Oops. Next up in the featherweight division, Matthew Martinez versus Saeed Abisa. First to the stage, Matthew Martinez. Weighing in at an even 144, Matthew Martinez. And next up to the stage, Saeed Abisa. Weighing in at a 145.1. In the featherweight division, Matthew Martinez versus Saeed Abisa. Next fight up in the light heavyweight division, Ali Abukakis versus Nicholas Torres. Is Ali here? Ali is not here. Let's go Nicholas Torres up to the stage. Nicholas. Nicholas Torres weighing in at 209.5. This is the light heavyweight division, Ali Abukayas versus Nicholas Torres. Nicholas, you could have faced off with Johnny or somebody if you wanted to. All right. Next up in the middleweight division, Quinn Redmond versus Joe Cerna. First up on the stage, Quinn Redmond. Quinn Redmond weighing in at 181.2. Next up to the stage, Joe Cerna. Joe Cerna weighing in at 183.1. This is in the middleweight division, Quinn Redmond versus Joe Cerna. Next up in the lightweight division, we have a title fight tonight, or tomorrow night. Caleb Ebel versus Corey Easter. First up to the stage, Caleb Ebel. Going for the lightweight title tomorrow night. Weighing in at an even 153, Caleb Ebel. Next up to the stage, Corey Easter. Weighing in at 154.1, Corey Easter. Tomorrow night for the lightweight title, it's Caleb Ebel versus Corey Easter. Next up, another title fight in the flyweight division for the women. Brigitte Garcia versus Jacqueline Flores. First to the stage, Brigitte Garcia. Weighing in at an even 125. Next up to the stage, Jacqueline Flores. Jacqueline Flores weighing in at 124.8. This is for the women's flyweight title. Brigitte Garcia versus Jacqueline Flores. All right, next up in the middleweight division, Olusegun Durajaya versus Jakorian Larry. First up to the stage, Olusegun Durajaya. Weighing in at 185.5. And next up to the stage, Jakorian Larry. Weighing in at an even 186. In the middleweight division, Olusegun Durajaya versus Jakorian Larry. All right, next up in the catchweight division. In the catchweight division, Aiden Lamas versus Brian Mendoza. First up to the stage, Aiden Lamas, weighing in at 129.8. Next up to the stage, Brian Mendoza, weighing in at an even 130. This is in the catchweight division. Aiden Lamas versus Brian Mendoza. And next up in the featherweight division, we have Rod Moore versus Jakorian Walker. First up to the stage, Rod Moore. Rod Moore weighing in at an even 146. And next up to the stage, Jakorian Walker. Jakorian Walker weighing in at 145.7. This fight is in the featherweight division. Rod Moore versus Jakorian Walker. Next up, we have another light heavyweight bat. This is Carlton Little versus David Wright. First up to the stage, Carlton Little. Carlton Little weighing in at 205.9. Next up to the stage, David Wright. David Wright weighing in at 205.3. This fight is in the light heavyweight division. It's Carlton Little versus David Wright. Next up, we have a lightweight fight. Jackson Nuakiyoma versus Abbas Moonshed. Up to the stage first, Jackson Nuakiyoma. Jackson weighing in at 155.6. And next up to the stage, Abbas Moonshed. Abbas weighing in at 155.3. This fight is in the lightweight division. Jackson Nuakiyoma versus Abbas Moonshed. Another lightweight fight coming up. Jackson Parks versus Ty Ybarra. First up to the stage, Jackson Parks. Jackson Parks weighing in at 155.7. And next up to the stage, Tai Ybarra. Tai Ybarra weighing in at 155. This fight is in the lightweight division. Jackson Parks versus Tai Ybarra. Next up in the catchweight division, João Borges versus Ty Johnson. First up to the stage, João Borges. João Borges weighing in at 148.4. And next to the stage, Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson weighing in at an even 149. This is the catchweight division. João Borges versus Ty Johnson. All right, for the ladies in the flyweight division, Tayane Souza versus Abril Anguano. First up to the stage, Tayane Souza. Weighing in at 123.5. Next we have Abril Anguano. Abril weighing in at 124.6. In the flyweight division, Tayane Souza versus Abril Anguano. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the final night of the evening, in the middleweight division, Joel Ballman versus Bailey King. First up to the stage, Joel Ballman. Joel Ballman weighing in at 184.7. Next up to the stage, Bailey King. Bailey King weighing in at 185.4. Your main event of the night in the middleweight division, Joel Ballman versus Bailey King. We have an exciting night of fights tomorrow night here at the Comerica Center in Frisco, Texas. Make sure you get out to see us, and if not, download the Peak Fighting app and you can see us online. Thank you for coming out. PFC 45.